And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It would be December 30th, 2025. And as you know, I can't wait till 2025 is gone. Been a rough 2025 for the fam. Get rid of it. Goodbye. Peace out. That's all I can tell you. Hey, this is serious talk about the things that affect you, but also the things that are out there on you, on everything that affects you, whether it be the markets, your job, the economy, your industry, the Morlocks in D.C., just everything. And that includes my industry and the tout artists. We did that in our webcast today. We're going to do a little bit of that today, or maybe a lot of that today on the show. And of course, on this show, if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. Just put our name in. If you'd like to email us, just be nice. Oh, and yes, we'll post it on the YouTube channel of BizTV. And as we told you, we got things in store that are going to happen right in January about our own YouTube and this show. But what I really want to talk about today is, and maybe we're being a little bit repetitive, but that's okay. 194, and I'm rounding off, 194 down to 72. 16 and a quarter to 6 and a quarter. Uh, 44 to 12. 61 to 24. 43 to 12. 14 and a half to $1.72. Did you hear that one? 100 down to 50. Shall I continue? Because I'm going to. 31 down to 12 3/4. 62 down to 22. 11 and a half down to 340. 21 down to 13. Doesn't seem so bad, that one, huh? It's bad. 19 3/4 to 5. 16 to 8. $6.60 to $2.40. 50 down to 10. 50 down to 10. 80 down to 8. 80 down to 8. 161 down to 27. No, really. 161 down to 27. 23 down to 9. And for the sake of brevity, we'll be done soon. 57 down to 14. 57 down to 14. 25 down to 14. That's not as bad as some of the others. 10.5 down to $4.40. 11.25 down to $4.30. Have I got your attention yet? How about 22 down to 10? Ooh, here's a good one. 240 down to 82. $14.60 to $7.50. I think I have your attention, right? 32 down to 7. I think I'll do a couple more. How about 44 down to 12? Do you know what all these have in common? They're mostly all down 50%, if not 60 or 70. Most all of them topped out 2 months ago and are down 50, 60, 70%. But you're not hearing about them except for us. And the reason you're hearing from us is because we warned you. You're hearing from us because we're pissed off. Because we watched a bunch of growth guys go online and in social media and tell you some of these no-sales companies were growth stocks. No sales, growth stocks. They lied. You had many touting them, shouting at you because their themes, they were nuclear companies, quantum computers, drones, robo-taxis, or robo-whatever, miners of Bitcoin. My favorite one is the rare earth. Rare earth. Wasn't that the name of a group in the 60s? Rare Earth Musical Group. Let's see if I'm right about that. Rare Earth, I was right. They sang, I just want to celebrate another day of... Look at that. But what happened? They all crashed. We warned you. We told you if nothing changed, eventually, ultimately, they will all go back to where they came from. How did we know? Study of bull and bear markets. What happens to no sales companies? Little did we know that they would top out in October, most of them, and crash. And we have just noticed nobody bringing them up because I bet you they all sold on the first down tick while they kept touting you. And we're bringing this up for the simple reason. We believe our number one goal here is when things are at extremes and valuations are a joke and crazy themes are going crazy to the upside. There's a hell of a lot of money to lose. And it's our job to warn. We had no idea when. For all we knew when we said this, maybe they double and triple from here. That was near the highs. Just do not be around another one of our little lines when the music stops. What pisses me off more than anything is the rare earths. Because I think there's like 15 to 20 of them, and I think there's one that has sales. The rest did not. And it was unfortunate that the administration brought them up and actually named names. There was 2 companies that mentioned, yes, we had conversations with the president. And the stocks went skyward. Up next, we'll put a bow tie on it. And whatever else. Pay attention. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. So, there was one rare earth company, no sales. The stock went from $2.70 to $16.28 before you can blink. They had mentioned they had conversations with the president. Now, I don't know if it's true or not because nothing's ever come of it. And that stock has gone down, 65, 70% from the high, and they still have no sales. And they just did a secondary. You know what a secondary is? It's a public offering of stock. And it pisses me off because it dilutes the shareholder and screws you. And as I am looking at news, I'm not mentioning names today. On October 14th, the stock was up 81%. The company engaged ahead of high-level critical mineral talks with the U.S. President, Donald Trump. And you all bought into it. Well, you guys didn't, hopefully. We're bringing this all up because we're even stunned. We're bringing it up because yesterday we did a little thing for you, how our poster child on the nuclear stuff has gone from 194 to 71, and now the 2 founders just sold $340 million of stock, and the company still has no sales. I don't blame them. I'm not even pissed at them. I would too. What irks me is how these things get touted up the wazoo in order for the insiders to sell massive amounts of stock and watch the stocks crash afterwards. So I plead with you, I beg of you, be smart. We think you're already smart by listening. You're going to get one thing here you're not going to get anywhere else. We call it the watch out below. You see, indices have done what they have done this year. I just went through 40 names that are down 50% or more. I can do another 200. And all in the same realm. Drones, Bitcoin mining, robo this, nuclear, quantum, rare earth. And amazingly, some of these companies have sales and are still down 50. 1 + 1 = 2. Ladies and gentlemen, when Rivian came public, and that was in the month of November of 21, and we yelled that the ass clowns on Wall Street brought it out at about a $80 billion market cap with no sales. And the next day got touted up to a $180 billion market cap. It was a $78 deal that the next day was $180. They had this almost $200 billion market cap the next day with no sales. GM and Ford together with $250 billion of sales had a lower about an equal market cap, a little bit higher. And we told you, under no uncertain terms, that eventually valuations would matter. And by June 2023, went from 180 down to $14. And it's at 19 right now. And by the way, they do have sales now, but still lose a ton. 1 + 1 = 2. We warned you of Beyond Meat. You remember that, right? And this company had sales, came out 2019. And I remember it had, trying to think how much market cap, like $100 billion? And they sell plants for you to eat. And we simply said to each and every one of you, who's going to eat plants? And for how long are they going to eat plants? And how long are they going to be in vogue? Well, they're bankrupt. These are the things we want you to listen to. First. Second, this is strong, that is strong, this is strong, that is strong, this is breaking out, that's breaking out. Because I have news for you. If you're involved with these disasters, you ain't going to have any money to invest. And you may say, oh, come on, we're smart. I'm not saying you're not. I'm letting you know I've seen it all. I've seen it all. And the most not talked about story of the last just 2 to 3 months is the 50% plus drops in hundreds of touted theme stuff with no sales or very little sales that were told to you, oh, they're growth. Horse crap. We're going to keep doing what we are doing. We're not going to let up. And we're going to still tell you, we're not sure if they rally these things back up again. We don't know. We've seen it before. I remember when GameStop had that initial move, crashed, had another move, and then crashed. Because valuations always are going to matter when all's said and done. So we just want you to remember this. We don't mean to harp, but it's money. And you've worked your tail off your whole life to protect that money. Am I correct? And I repeat, I could have done a couple hours of stocks like that. And I can't begin to tell you how hyped they have been, especially the things associated with crypto. Especially. Up next, today, another mushy day as we head into the end of the year. This is the one only Investor's Edge. So, another mushy day. Dow down 95, S&P 9, NASDAQ 55, NASDAQ 163. The Russell mid-caps down. I believe the SOX, the all-important semiconductor index, finished only down 9, but at one time today was up 50. So that pulled in. Not a lot to add, except I have to mention these metals. I don't know what the hell's going on. Huge gaps to the upside, gargantuan gap to the downside yesterday, and a gap up today, but they sold back down towards the close, where Palladium was down a bunch. Platinum was up, but way off the highs. Gold was up, but way off the highs. Silver remained pretty decent, though off the highs. Silver stronger than the most. There is, for me, absolutely no edge on telling you what to do here or how to do it. I just don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. What I do know is they have that Eiffel Tower characteristic in some of the things. If that is the case, what you saw yesterday in some of these things, if not all of them, the highs for now. But not because things are wrong, it's because silver, and I'm going to give you the ETF, went from a breakout at around 49 to 50. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're into the 5th week right now. You ready? 50 to 71. Last I looked, that's 40% in 4+ weeks. That's an insane asylum. We're not saying it's not going higher. It certainly could, for all we know. Some of these things just feel like Eiffel Tower-ish. We'll know in the days ahead. At the very least, you know the line. Stretched, extended, overbought, noisy. We'll see what the outcome is. Stunning. Next. What does this move in metals mean? That adds to my little worry list. You know my biggest worry, right? There's no bears, especially on technology. There's no bears on tech except people that have been bearish for a while and don't necessarily time the market, but usually get it right when all's said and done. You know who I'm talking about, right? I follow some very smart people that are not timers, but I'm not going to name names, but I have some people that I follow that early 99, mid 99, very bearish on tech. All hell's going to break loose. They're going to go a lot lower, and they had that big move at the end of 99 into March of 2000, and then they crashed. And as you know, as one, been very worried about the concentration. Just so you know what that means. These big mutual funds and hedge funds own huge amounts of the stocks. And when things go awry, they are in their meetings, portfolio managers and executives, how many shares do you have? And in recent past, just so you know, I don't know if you heard, but CoreWeave is down 60%, highly touted AI name. You know what the institutions have been doing with that, right? Get me the hell out. And insider selling too. How many shares do you have? How about Uber? Oft-mentioned name. Guess what institution's been doing? We own too many shares. How do we know? Well, I see 5 skyscraper days of volume in the last, 2-3 months. All big down days. That's not Aunt Mary and Uncle Bob selling. Those are the marks. Those are the breadcrumbs on the trail. That's how it works. When things are good, when things are rolling, the opposite. How many shares do we own of that? We don't own enough. Get some more. The worry is that concentration, if things go awry, well, let's see. We mentioned CoreWeave. How about Oracle dropped 50% from September? 5-0! For Larry Ellison's technology company. That's not supposed to happen. Why does it happen? Because everybody got tons of shares and something happened. there was a belief that, these back orders and backlogs, they ain't going to happen. And as the debt was being sold off, there was more worry about what's going on, more selling. So if there's any worry I have, and by the way, we're not predicting it, it's the concentration in all these things. We can see what concentration does when things go the wrong way. We've seen throughout the years great companies, their great earnings growth stopped because of whatever reason. And it stopped near the highs, where the big institutions own tons of shares. And in their meetings, how many shares do we have? And then it feeds on itself. Support levels get broken, moving averages get broken. You get the hint. And of course, we're on here telling you that. So just letting you know that is one of my issues. I'm not worried about the Liberation Day type tariffs anymore. I think they learned their lesson. I worry if the president puts somebody in that does take interest rates down to 1%, which will mean nothing to you except you get screwed on your money markets. That could have mortgage rates go higher, as we have explained. They control short-term rates. Mortgages are tied to longer-term rates, as well as other loans. That's not as big a worry. And then there's the job market. We keep hearing about golden age and the greatest economy and this and that. The job market sucks right now. The numbers are terrible. Not the 4.6 unemployment rate. It's the trend. And the creation of jobs is way down. And of course, the backers are out there BSing. When under Biden, there was a 200,000 month. Oh, numbers suck. Trump gets a 50,000 month. Oh, good number. So you got to be careful about that. Remember, we have no bias. No agenda, no ulterior motive, just to tell you how it is. Job market. And that's why we've said to you many times in the past, become indispensable if you're working for others. Become the most important people at the companies if you work for others. Work harder, work smarter, work longer, work better. Market yourself well without kissing the you-know-what. Because you never know. I've owned my business forever. Because I've seen too many talented people lose their jobs. For whatever reason. That's why I'm such a big believer in entrepreneurship. Owning your own business, because you never know. And when I read stories of people that get fired after 30, 40 years and get nothing, pisses me off. But welcome to our world. That is how it works. So the job market. And that could possibly have to do with artificial intelligence. I don't know. I keep reading some things that say yeah and some things that say no. We'll keep fingers crossed on that because that's muy importante. Up next, this, that, and the other thing. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. So, a lot of what we've done today is protect, smart. So, this all comes from anybody here, the gentleman by the name of James Chanos. He's this famous short seller. I follow him also, and I'm always interested in what he's seeing. It turns out a SPAC, I'm not going to name a name. You can go follow them on Twitter. It's on there. A company that merged with another company to develop natural gas and helium assets or whatever, has no sales or very little sales. A $10 SPAC went down to 32 cents. Nice, huh? What is that, 96.8% drop? Well, we're always wary because the stock then rallied up to 760 and there was noise out there. And the news came out that they're going to develop a $100 billion AI data center. Yeah. It's the company's first development. 3,500 acres, doesn't matter where, whatever. The company has no sales. And they're going to develop a $100 billion AI data center? The market cap of the whole company at the price it is today is $100 million. With no sales. You see what I'm talking about here? When marijuana was hot a few years ago, all the advertisements I would get was on marijuana. You know where I'm going with this, right? You can actually tell because all the announcements and all the marketing now is data centers. Everybody's building a data center. Everybody's going to develop. Remember when electric vehicles, when the SPACs, every SPAC company that merged with another company that's going to make electric vehicles, a business that's heading south? And by the way, how many companies have started a business to sell cars and are still around? Catching my drift? So everything now is a data center. Everybody's going to build a data center. And you know what I'm thinking to myself? Boy, there's going to be a lot of empty data centers that are going to turn into housing development. You catching my drift? Remember the warning we did on marijuana with you guys? All of a sudden, all these companies are going to sell marijuana. Really? How's that going to be? And we told you, the impossibility. And be careful, all the marijuana stocks dropped 90-95%, but I was laughed at. Well, we're just letting you know right now, everything's a data center. Data center. Data center. 100 billion, 200 billion, 300 billion. Size of Manhattan. And we're just wondering, is it another one of those? Another one of those. And again, I know I may be sounding like a Cassandra. No, it's just being a realist and keeping my eyes wide open. That we are being told something that has to be. That we need all this for that. And I'm just asking questions. How is somebody going to spend $400 billion and make money? And for what? Oh, for artificial intelligence. Oh, and what's that going to do? Well, and what about if 50 of them get involved? You know, there's a bunch of big companies that are getting involved now, supposedly. Some have backed away, quietly. So we're just making sure, because I got news for you. If data center stocks start breaking out a range on 3 times average volume because earnings are up 90%, sales are up 40%, you're going to know we're going to tell you. If the companies that provide construction and electricity and energy for the data centers all break out of range on heavy volume to the upside and report 100% earnings growth, 70% sales growth, we're going to know it. We're just a little bit worried about seeing CoreWeave down in the 60s, Oracle down 50 at the lows, their bonds getting hit, their credit default swaps priced to ensure that debt going up, and the numbers that are being told to us feel like an impossibility. And when I see a company with no sales talking about a $100 billion AI data center, where James Chanos, a very smart man, sarcastically, a $150 million market cap company, announced development of a $100 billion AI data center, you know what my next line is? What's wrong with this picture? So stay tuned. We're going to stay on it. There's very concentrated and everybody into the pool area of the market where nothing can go wrong, except if you CoreWeave and Oracle, of course. That'll be a close watch for 26. That all said, last day of the year, tomorrow you have a great evening. Drive. By the way, tomorrow night, don't drink and drive. When you get home, do like we do, quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You'll feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Have a great evening, everybody. Good night.